John Michael here with Planet-Cosplay. I'm here with Shorsh.
Yeah.
Shorsh. Also known as Michael in some worlds. But
stupid
tell us about your costume.
So I am Tormund from Game of Thrones. It's made out of as much scrap leather as I can find. A lot of people don't know about this, but the best way to get leather is actually if you see a free couch, like a leather couch on Craigslist or something, go pick it up. If it's leather, you cut the leather off, throw the couch out at the dumpster, and like you essentially can get like $200 to $400 worth of deer hide or leather for nothing.
Which I've done before.
Yeah. So I just collect stuff like that. Anytime I see something at estate sales or whatever, I just buy it just because it's useful. I may or may not use it. Some of my friends may need it. Doesn't matter.
Easy to store.
This is actually a mop because I didn't know what to use that would look like matted goat fur. And I was like, a mop's cheap. I'll use that.
And no trip to Jamaica in mind.
No.
In the middle of the night.
I was hunting the mop in the Home Depot aisle, and it just came up and just dead. It didn't see it coming. But cheap and easy to do.
Yeah.
It's a very hot costume, though, so I can't.
Very heated inside.
No, my own body temperature. It is a bit like Florida in here. But yeah. No, it's
humid.
I mean, I don't sweat in general, but I keep having to add ice because it's probably in the 70s right now, and it gets a little toasty in here.
And your background is that you do leather work?
So like, my degree is in computer science. I work at a costume.
I didn't ask about that.
Yeah, well,
I'm asking about life.
my background. So I started like getting into costumes. I taught at a Boy Scout camp. And there was like a leatherworking merit badge, and what they do is they like sew up these stupid like kits, like, oh, here's a wallet, just follow the instructions and you make it. No, it was like lame. And so I was like, I went down to the leather store, I bought a bunch of leather, and we were making archery bracers, we were making armor and all this stuff, and like the kids loved it, and it was cheaper, and they actually got more involved in like the process and were more interested in it. So that was like my intro to it. But then it was like I always like coveted things like to have it, oh, I love that costume. It's just the store-bought one is, it's not the best quality. I can make that better for cheaper, and I don't actually have to buy it. I can just find things around. So like I did Groot from Guardians of the Galaxies a few years ago, and like honestly, it cost me less than $100 to make. And I'm 8 feet tall. I'm in stilts. I'm fully painted up, and I won the costume contest here. And it was like, yeah,
that was you.
That was 2015. That was me. Yeah. And so like
you had to duck under doors.
Oh yeah. No, it's a hassle. I mean, people don't realize this. Like costuming is, depending on what level it is. Like sure, girls like they'll be out and it's cold outside and they're not wearing a lot. That's the problem. Guys like or anybody, you're in full makeup. It's hot. Like I did Edward Scissorhands like probably 8 to 12 years ago. And that's like this costume, except for it's skin tight and black. And oh my God, I was up in the hotel room like straddling the radiator, just like, come on, please, let me have a breeze. But yeah, so background.
There's a rhyme in there.
Background was leatherworking, and then it was just I would find something that I want to make. I'd figure out how to make it. I'd buy the stuff I need to make it, and I'd make it. So I can do foam crafting, I can do metalworking, I can do woodworking, I can do leatherworking. I'm not like an expert in any field, but
you know enough about.
I know enough to figure out. I want that. How do I do it? And then you like figure it out and buy the stuff you need.
Where can our viewers find out about you at social media? Or?
I have my Instagram is Anorak Props. Anorak spelled ANORAK. If you like Ready Player One, the book, that's it. And I don't often post there just because I get random spurts of adrenaline like, oh, it's 4 days before a convention, I'm going to make a costume. So it just depends on when I have the time to make stuff. And I typically don't actually make a costume until I have it, like, for the most part, figured out 100% how I'm going to do it. Because I've had problems in the past where, like, I start something but never finish it. And that's because it's like I reach a point where it's like, oh, I actually don't know how I'm supposed to do this to like the standard I'd want it to look. And then when I get
Let's say you had a week and I gave you $1,000, what would you make in that week?
like right now I do my Buzz Lightyear because that's the most I've planned out. But like I've actually worked for Make-A-Wish, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and we actually
I danced for them.
yeah. So we had a kid. He had some sort of cancer in his mouth, and I wasn't originally supposed to be on the project itself. It was supposed to be some other guy, but then he disappeared, and so I had to kind of take the reins. And so Make-A-Wish, it was like $3,000 in material, and then plus my time alone, and we made like these 5-foot-long spikes that came out of his back that glowed, and a muscle suit, and I mean it was crazy. So money is the big factor. If you can buy this stuff when you need it, if you have the right tools. But the nice thing about costuming is a lot of times you can start off at entry level, and like, okay, I don't have a bandsaw, but I do have just a normal saw, and it's going to take me a lot longer, but I can get the same results,
Get it done.
and you don't have to have a $200 tool. So like you slowly accumulate the skills and the tools that you need, and when it comes down to like, oh, so-and-so needs to make them a guitar for a costume they're planning on doing it. Yeah, I can do that. Like, come over to my house for the weekend, we need this materials, and we'll bust it out.
Get it done.
So,
Like, yeah.
yeah. And,
Well,
and that's what
thanks
I
for-
prefer and enjoy. Like, I haven't done as many costumes for myself. I've been helping other people out just because I enjoy it, more, and then they get the wow factor. Because, like, when you're in, like, a convention and you do a good costume, if you've never experienced it before, it's a little bit like starstruck. You come out of the elevator, everybody's taking pictures of you. It's like, I'm awesome. And it's kind of like a unique thing to experience. And some people let it go to their heads, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but I want to share that with other people and let other people have that experience and know, like, dude, I'm actually cool. I'm because we're all nerds, and we've all kind of been downtrodden at some point in our life, but to have that, like, oh, I'm actually worth something, or not that I'm worth something, but, oh, other people think I'm, like, awesome? Hell yeah. That's a great feeling. I want to share that.
And great
So-
for sharing a
Oh,
little
yeah.
time with us today.
No worries,
and
no worries.
Planet-Cosplay viewers, thank you very much.
Yeah, cool.